Welcome, foolish mortals, to Team Forbidden's YouTube channel. It is I, Setro Summon the Fanatic, taking up the moniker of Bakura. Yummy Bakura. Shoutouts to Ted Lewis, I had to. We're doing the Destiny board deck, guys. As you saw in the Evil Hero video, we opened a case of Legendary Duelist. Didn't pull enough of the Evil Hero stuff, but those who don't know, I have kind of an affinity for Destiny board outside of the Blue Eye stuff. My second favorite character to play from the original TV show is Yami Bakura. Yeah, Kaiba's first, Yami Bakura's second, Merrick is third. As for favorite characters in the TV show, my second favorite character-wise, is Joey, just because I identify with the man. I don't like Red Eyes, though. So, let's just get into the deck profile for Yami Bakura. First off, you have to have the 2 Cursed Necrofear. Cursed Necrofear is a new card. Can only be special summoned by a card effect. That is very important to note, meaning even if you send her to the graveyard, you can still special summon her by a card effect. Does not specifically state from the hand. Her usual summoning condition on her own effect to summon her is you target 3 of your banished fiend monsters and then shuffle them into the deck and summon her. During the end phase, if she is sent to the graveyard because it was destroyed by an opponent's card, or sent there by an opponent's card this turn, she will come back and then destroy a number of your opponent's cards equal to the number of face-up spell and trap cards you control. To help solicitate her a little bit, we have 2 Dark Spirit of Malice. Dark Spirit of Malice, it basically special summons a level 8 fiend from your graveyard with the True Draco effect clause. Basically, whenever your opponent activates card or effect, discard it, special summon a level 8 fiend. And Banishment, which is a battle trap. At the start of the damage step, you discard this card, target a level 8 fiend in your graveyard, and then you special summon it and proceed to damage calculation accordingly. Sort of like Hope Harbinger, where it redirects the attack to itself, and then battle occurs immediately. The reason I'm showing both of these together, only 2 of each one, because you're not always going to have Cursed Necrofear in your graveyard, but the reason I'm showing the both of these together is they both have the same secondary effect, which is whenever a level 8 fiend monster goes to your graveyard, goes from the field to the graveyard, you can add this card back to your hand. And then to finish off the monsters, we have 3 Battle Fader. Yeah, only 9 monsters in this deck. It's a really low monster count, but you don't really need the monsters as much as you need the spells and traps, which we're going to be doing a little bit differently. We're going to show the, we're going to do them in sections, kind of like I did the Blue Eyes Guard Dragon video. 3 Pot of Extravagance. It's self-explanatory. You never go into your extra deck. 3 Pot of Duality. You're always special summoning during the opponent's turn. 1 Foolish Burial to dump Cursed Necrofear in the graveyard. And Bakura's deck is an occult deck, so this card just fits perfectly. Aside from the fact that you want your extravagances going off. This does nothing against Destiny board, by the way, for Ash Blossom. If you want an Ash Blossom Destiny board, go ahead. It's not activating or summoning. You can't do anything about that. Dark Spirit's Mastery. This is the new card. We actually opened 3 playsets of this in the box. Eric, Ronald, and I both took a playset of each. This card is a very good card, and it's actually highly generic for what it is. Basically, you discard a card, add either Destiny board or 1 level 8 fiend monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Very important. So this is these are relatively cheap right now. Pick these up if you can, because this has the potential to be broken in the future. For example, let's see a number of stuff that you can, like level 8 fiends. You can search Grapha with it. I see a lot of people doing it for that. I mean, it's why you can just search Grapha with other stuff. If Grinder Golem were not banned over here, you could search that. So it's a good thing Grinder Golem is banned. You can search Lava Golem. You'll see Lava Golem in my side deck. Skyscourge Norlerus. Again, this thing has a lot of different applications in other decks. Let's just try and focus on this deck right now. I know I get on tangents a lot. But it has a secondary effect as well. During your turn, except the turn it's sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle any number of your Spirit Message cards, or Destiny board, in your hand or in your graveyard into the deck, and then redraw that many cards. So it's a hand fixer with the Destiny boards and Spirit Messages that you never want to draw. Speaking of Spirit Messages, I invoke the magic of Dark Sanctuary. This card lets me place my Spirit Messages on the board as monsters instead of spells and traps. Makes it so you have 2 Destiny boards, And that's the thing about Destiny board. It doesn't have to be I, N, A, and L off of one Destiny board. If you have 2 Destiny boards on the field, you will search I with the first one, N with the second one, and subsequently during each turn. The only problem is, if you have 2 Destiny boards on the field, you can't place all 5 of them on the field, except if you can summon them as monsters, in which case this card comes in handy. 1 Mystic Mine in the main deck, because it's Mystic Mine, this card should be banned. 1 Terraforming to search for either the Dark Sanctuaries or the Mystic Mine, and the Metaverse to search for them as well. So, those are the relatively generic 3 Destiny board. This is your main win condition of the deck, along with 1 I, 1 N, 1 A, and 1 L. And to round off the Destiny board engine, we have 3 Sentence of Doom. This card has 2 very unique effects, of which both can only be used once per turn. It's a hard once per turn, so you can use only 1 per turn and only once that turn. The first effect is equal to the number of face-up... first effect is you can target any number of fiend monsters that are banished or in your graveyard up to the number of Destiny board and spirit messages that you control, and then return them to the hand. Very handy when Battle Fader gets banished after it leaves the graveyard. Sentence of Doom, oh, I control the Destiny board. Okay, Battle Fader goes back to my hand, no Battle Phase for you. The second effect is arguably the more useful effect, however, which is you can just send this card from the graveyard to place a spirit message from your hand, deck, or graveyard in your spell and trap zone, and it's treated as being on the field by the effective Destiny board. So this thing will complete your final. And to round off the deck at 40 cards, we have another Bakura card, 2 copies of Multiple Destruction. You're probably wondering, Scott, what the hell are you thinking running this card? This card is bad. Well, yes and no. You have to make sure that you have 3 cards in your hand in order to play it, and your opponent has to have 3 cards as well. Best way to use this is if your opponent just searched a card, that way you just place whatever they searched on the bottom of their deck, and then both players will draw 5 new cards. Very useful if you have a bunch of spirit messages in your hand, which are dead in your hand. These are garnets, you never want to draw them, but they are necessary for your win condition. Or say you want to open into a hand trap, such as Battle Fader, or any of the Dark Spirits, which in testing, it actually came up a lot in test hands, and it's, in my opinion, a highly underrated card. I think 3 is a little too much. I think 2 is just the perfect amount. So yeah, that's the main deck at 40 cards. Into the extra deck, because we do have to have an extra deck for extravagance, as well as a certain little side deck card. 2 Muddragon, 2 this guy, also known as Super Poly Walking Solemn Judgment from anything from the extra deck. 2 of him, 2 of this guy, and some Waking the Dragon targets, as well as a couple of Beat Cups, and a couple of Barricades. So yeah, Waking the Dragon and Super Poly are both in the side deck. 2 Lava Golem to deal with problematic boards, because you can search this with Dark Spirit's Mastery. Please note, level 8 Fiend. 3 Doom Caliber Knights. I wanted to run this in the main deck. These should probably be Solemn Strikes, but it's a Bakura deck. This is a really good Bakura card. 3 Super Polymerization. This card is getting reprinted in a couple of weeks, so hopefully this will be a little bit easier to get. But it's basically a break the opponent's board. 2 additional Mystic Mines, just in case it's needed for the matchup. 2 Waking the Dragons. And then you're probably wondering, Scott, what are you going to do against any sort of banishment? Works with both Curse Necrophere, and it stops your opponent from evenly matching your entire board. Seriously, Evenly Matched just murders this deck. So, yeah, that's the Destiny board deck profile. Like, comment, and subscribe, you foolish mortals, and we will catch you guys next time. Click that bell down for notifications if you don't want to be sent to the Shadow Realm.